Well, shawties, this was quite the painful weekend as a football fan. First seeing my Longhorns get humbled by Georgia, then witnessing the Texans lose to a last-minute field goal game winner. Hasn't been the best football weekend to say the least, but both teams will sure to bounce back. The Texans loss stung me the most because dang, we had it, man, we had it. There are a few things I wanted to go over in this recap, and I'll just summarize the strengths and weaknesses from this game. Strengths! Number 1, Joe Mixon is a beast. He was able to torch the Packers defense for 115 yards and 2 touchdowns. Exactly why we brought him over to Houston. If this game took place last year, I'm not so sure this game is even competitive. This secondary of Green Bay is just too elite, and you can tell Stroud was doing his damn hardest to not force the ball. Our rushing attack is in good hands as long as Mixon is healthy, and Dameon Pierce makes for a pretty good return kicker, man, I'm not gonna lie. 2, our defense is nearly elite. Yeah, we gave up that game-winning drive, but y'all have to understand that the defense did its job for a majority of the game. Will Anderson was pressuring Jordan Love a lot, and we picked Mr. Love off 2 whole times, and this was also with key contributors to our defense out with injuries like Camardi Lassiter, Shire, and Jimmy Ward. Strong defensive stances on 3rd and short, and we were able to push Green Bay's offense out of their element for a good portion of the game. And number 3, Kaimi Fairbairn continues to be the best leg in the league in my opinion. His consistency is something that needs to be recognized. Unfortunately, this is where the good things end because we got a bit to talk about with what went wrong here. Weaknesses! Number 1, our damn O-line. Now, I'm happy that our offensive snap penalties have been trending down since the early part of the season, but that does not excuse the fact that CJ Pookie is running for his life out there. Granted, this Packers secondary deserves most of the credit for forcing CJ to hold onto the ball, but our O-line continues to get confused on certain blocking assignments. There is no reason for CJ to have to run around like this, man. Number 2, Bobby Slowick needs to tweak his play calling. Spamming screens and short passes will not bring us the dub. Now, there are a lot of people wanting this dude's head already and calling him to be fired, but let's pump the brakes on that, please. Are we forgetting the incredible job he did last year in assimilating CJ into the offense and working the play calls to his strengths? There were a lot of games last year where play calling gave the Texans the upper hand on certain opponents such as Cincinnati, Tampa Bay, list goes on. Last year, the play calling was great. Last year. This year, there have definitely been decisions that had me scratching my head or ripping my hair out. This brings me to my next point, which is number 3, clock management. For example, it's late in the 4th quarter and it's past the 2-minute warning. Texans can just run it out and waste the timeouts in Green Bay and set up Fairbairn for the field goal to take the lead. Or you can be aggressive and work for the first down and touchdown, up to you. And it seems like the first option was the decision at first, except whoops, never mind guys, why don't we just throw a fucking out route on 3rd and 15 to save a timeout for them? You can't just change your mind like that. Did you want the first down or not? Why are you throwing this out of bounds behind the sticks? Why in the world is this even on the options list at this point? Just run the ball, man. Or how about against the Bills? People were clowning on Sean McDermott for throwing the ball 3 straight times to give us the ball, but let's not forget we had 44 seconds left in the last quarter with a 3rd and 5, and Slowick decides to throw the ball here, which ends up incomplete and stops the clock. Granted, you're not in the comfortable field goal range, but now you give the Bills the ball back, when you could have just ran out the clock at the very least and give Fairbairn a shot to break a record or something, I don't know. But if it weren't for McDermott having no brain cells for time management, we could have lost that game easily. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that this play calling and clock management needs some tweaks. There's a reason why our games have been heart attacks, and I think there's so much potential we have. Regardless, we're sitting well at 5-2, still atop the division. That game with the Colts will be for the division lead, so let's make sure we lock in before then. Other than that, I love my Texans so much. I need to start making more weekly videos of this, so stay tuned for that, guys. Anyways, I'll see you on the next one. I got some upcoming videos.